Hello. Hi. I don't know if you hear me. Thank you so much for inviting me and giving me the chance to meet you all. I'm from Russia. I started my business in 2011, 2002 in Russia. And today people ask me, how is it making business in Russia? Is it difficult to be a woman in business in Russia? And I think that it doesn't really matter, are you a woman or you're a man when you do business anywhere. And after university, I always have a dream to work in fashion and to meet all these designers. And the biggest desire for me was to bring all of them and introduce them to Russian people and to make a store in Moscow. And then we built the online store, so it gave us a little bit more opportunity to connect all the other cities in Russia on one platform, and getting a wider distribution and the visibility. I think that is a lot of people asking me, is that a fear that you didn't have, or is it a desire you had, or you had a financial motivation? I think that it's a little bit of everything that initially was in my mind. I had a bigger dream, and I always wanted to be an independent woman like my mom was and my grandmother, because I always seen them working. And after university, I knew since the beginning that I want to be independent, and I want to do a business, and I want to build this business in Russia. Of course, it was not as easy as I thought it was, because in the beginning, to get a financial support and to get a credit with no credit history, or any credibility when you're 22 years old, that was quite difficult. But I remember myself that I was so sure, that I was so convinced that I will be able to convince the bankers, that I would convince the suppliers and the partners. When you had a big dream and you have this slide and a belief inside yourself, I think that people can feel your energy. And I think that the positive energy is very contagious in a good way. And I think that when you're putting all the puzzles together, and of course, not having a fear, to be brave of moving forward, of making mistakes. I've done a lot of mistakes, and of course they were not always very easy to get through, but I've learned, and it was quite challenging as well, because we also had to face some crisis that happened, the world crisis, the crisis in Russia. When we have a credit that were for example, in a current currency, and the sales were in Russian rubles. So all these years, there was always something. But in the end of the day, I always believed in what I did, and what was inspiring me is an amazing opportunity to meet all the talented designers, all the people supporting those designers, and linking it all together and introducing it to the final customer. So for me, that was probably, if I always say that if I had to start my life again, I will always do the same thing. I wish I could do more. With the pandemic, we explore more opportunities, how to work at distance, and do the orders, and meeting even more people distantly. And we have so many plans to connect now more designers, introducing them into Russia, and bringing Russian designers outside of Russia. Today, because of the digital and the whole digitalization, we have so many tools how we can twist it, and how we can do it. And I'm so grateful for all of it. So as an advice to the young entrepreneurs that's starting their business, or thinking to have this business, and any business in any direction, if you have it's the seed already there, and you've been it's been born, your desire, and your dream to do something by yourself, or to create your own business, or to open a store or the restaurant. It doesn't really matter which direction you go. I think you have to support it with your own guts, with your strengths, with your face with. You need to believe in what you're doing. I think it's very, very important. And do not get distorted by any other people who will tell you, are you sure? Are you not going to fail? Are you not going to be afraid? What is going to happen if you're going to not be able to return the credit? Yes, all those questions, they have a place. But when you have a straight direction, when you believe in what you're doing and you can convince other people to go with you, when you have enough energy to say to yourself that you're ready to be a leader and you're ready to take the responsibilities, I think that, and with the help of God, I think all those little puzzles, in the end, they give you the result. It's a lot of work that we have to do when we're starting our own things, and nothing is easy. I think that's also important to remember. And I think that the most important is to get rid of the fear, the internal fear that in a 99% cases are stopping us. So I think that probably my advice to the young entrepreneurs who want to do business, it will be no fear, believe in your dream, and follow your dream, follow your guts, follow your intuition, and do not be afraid when you're making mistakes. Sometimes they can be really painful, but pain goes away and we're getting the experience. And I think the experience is very, very, very important. So thank you so much for having me. I can see on a timer that I don't have a lot of time left. And it was a pleasure. I wish I could see you all one day in person.